Hi, this is Megan Malik here with a new path. Also, for an episode of Grounding, Grieving, Gratitude, and Grace in December of 2024. And so, if you've joined me the last couple, we've done some practices together to help us be in our bodies to ground. We have explored grief, which is often, I think always actually, part of what in the United States we call the holiday season. And just kind of listening for the grace or the gratitude that might be around us and or that we find as we slow down and check in. And so today we're going to start with something called havening touch. And so we can do this in three ways. So I'm going to actually put my glasses up on the top of my head, and I see it like closet is wanting to open here today, and that's just how that is. Anyway, here we come back. So havening touch. We can do this in three different ways, and we're going to do it together and breathe together. We can rub our palms back and forth together, and you want to just get the sensation of your palms, of the feeling of your fingerprints, your palm prints, if you will. You want to press hard enough that you can feel that, but not so hard that it hurts. Or you can rub down your arms shoulder to elbow, shoulder to elbow, shoulder to elbow. You can keep doing this if you like. I'm going to show you the third way you can use havening touch, which is rubbing your face. And some people like to just soothe on the sides. And I always think it's like when we're washing our face. And so you can choose the havening touch you'd like to use. And we're just going to breathe together. I'm going to do the palms of my hands. And havening touch has been known to help soothe the nervous system. It connects to the amygdala. It helps us. It helps that part of our brain feel soothed. And so I think as we talk about and explore grief and the feelings that go with it, sometimes it can be helpful to have a little extra resource and a little extra support. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about anger today, which can be, often is, part of the grief process, one that maybe doesn't always get as acknowledged, or it may get acknowledged as anger and not get connected to the grief that could be part of it. So I invite you, if it's right for you and your body, to continue havening touch as I do this. And again, I'm going to use the palms of my hands as I do. And so I alluded to anger. So for me, irritation and frustration are more often how I experience this. Some people feel outright anger and rage. And you might be saying, what, how, rage, anger, yes, these feelings are fine, but what do you mean when you're talking about grief? And so I invite you to consider that when we lose something or someone that we love, that we count on, that we are connected to, that we are attached to, our brain goes into seeking for it. It goes looking. And when that doesn't get sought, met, and when we are not seen, heard, or validated, part of us often goes into distress. And that distress or that protest can come out as irritation, anger, frustration, rage. And so all of that is very real and true. And sometimes with that anger is underlying grief for what we've lost. And certainly over the holidays, there are so many visual, auditory, sensory, smell activators that can bring up either what we thought we would get and did not get, what we did have and don't have, or the future that we're planning on that is now not going to be. There's all of these things, right? There are these images around us about what quote unquote should look like. And so many of us don't have that kind of life. And so that can feel all kinds of things. And it can appear in us as irritation, frustration, anger. And so I just want to invite you, if you're having those feelings, to know, yes, that makes so much sense. And if you are having anger, frustration, irritation, I invite you to set a timer for 10 minutes. Get a sheet of notebook paper or a blank sheet of paper out, a pen, a marker, a crayon, a colored pencil, and just invite your anger to write to you. See if your anger or your irritation will let you know, what is this feeling, this part of you, upset about? What does it want you to know? What's it trying to do for you? What does it want you to hear? What does it need? And if you just give it 10 minutes to see what it might have to say to you. And so I'm going to end our time together today with a blessing for you with this. This is called Blessing in the Anger by poet Jan Richardson. I'm going to put my glasses down so I can see, except for the fact that as my eyes are changing, to be perfectly honest, even doing this is difficult these days. So you might think it would come with a clamoring, clashing, clanging, heavy boots hollering in hot rage. What it does not tell you is how quietly it loves to bear itself toward us, hardly uttering a word until it shows up with a suddenness, splintering into broken pieces on the floor, the dent in the wall, the hole torn in what had once been whole. And no one there to witness the damage, no one to sweep away the shards, which is why this anger came at all. Let it be no stranger. Let it be visitor, teacher, guide. Let it be messenger, come to tell us what we most need to know, hard though its words may be to hear. Trust even when you cannot believe it, that it will carry its own consolations, that it knows what to do with what has shattered. Trust that the other face of anger is courage, that it holds the key to your secret strength, that the fire it offers will light your way. And so, beloveds, as you be with yourself and anger that arises, journaling with it, listening to the shards that are there, may you trust that it does indeed provide you with your courage, guide you with the way forward, and that anger may indeed be illuminating for you your path, albeit potentially uncomfortable and not always associated with your grief. May your process with anger open you to new ways. And if you are someone right now that is seeking a little bit of more support with any of this, in the show notes, you can find a link to the basic needs checklist and weekly planner, because goodness knows, one of the hardest things of grief is, one, taking care of what needs to be taken care of with yourself and the feels and all of that, as well as the world's expectations. And so this resource is to be with you, to help you have a tangible hold on, something to help you get through the days. And the next link is for the early days of grief and loss. It's 21 days of sequence of emails that you get in your email, just a little something for you to support you and to guide you in the early days, taking you through some of the basic needs of breathing and adding in activity and a little food, a little bit of water hydration, as well as recognizing when big emotions like anger rise need our attention and how we can be with those. So until we meet again, may you be safe, may you be well, may you know that you are not alone. Blessings, peace, and namaste.